Oh, that's what they're called. Yes, a stream sniper. That's what I'm thinking of.
You're stream sniping me
Yeah.
live right now.
Yeah. And then they have those like things where you can like, they now have names for like screenshotting photos. Like I saw this person, instead of like whipping out his phone to take a picture with speed, he was like, oh no, it's okay, we'll just screenshot from the live. And so he just stood there and, and they did like a picture, and then he's like just gonna screenshot in the live later rather than
That's so funny. Live streaming is such like a weird phenomenon
yeah.
that's been going on.
I think it's weird having that much like personal view on like some. Are you recording this?
Yeah.
Oh, you started recording. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we'll just
My bad.
it'll go.
I think it's weird having that much view on someone's personal life. I think it's very interesting because like as influencers and like as content creators, we always have somebody viewing us. But I think it's interesting that like 24 hours a day you can have someone watching you.
Yeah.
And then people actually like that though.
Yeah, like there's streams where people are just like watching people sleep. Like they do like an actual 24-hour stream.
Like the streamathon, Kai Sanat's thing that was like he did 30 days thing, and it's like that's amazing the amount of like recognition that he's able to have people like Tisha Campbell and Mariah Carey like on the show. It's really cool for like I think black men to have that perspective to see that there are like black women supporting him, but I don't need to see him sleep. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
have you seen that bed that he has?
Yeah.
That,
And the video of Quinlan on it screaming, I was living for that.
it like spins. It's basically like a mechanical bowl
Yeah.
as a bed.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I don't even know. And then they just like go about their life, just like walking around,
Yeah.
just streaming. Like,
But what's also cool about it is that the amount of like, I think the jobs and opportunities you're able to provide. Cause one, I'm personally not at Twitch, like I'm not watching it, but even there's a woman who was like reporting on Kai Sanat's live stream where like she just was making TikToks, and then he asked her to then be on the show where it's like a news segment where they like, she cuts in and she's like, oh, here's what you missed on the
whoa.
streamathon or whatever. And it's like, that's really cool that he is providing that opportunity for other people up with him. But I just think there's always like an underlying layer of like, why is voyeurism like so popular? Like, why
Yeah,
do people
like,
like,
what about it?
watching people like that? Yeah.
I've heard like younger kids are more inclined to watch someone stream than just like go outside and live
Yeah.
life. And I'm like, let's go touch grass. Let's go play.
But that's why people don't know how to interact with anybody anymore, because we're watching. I think kids nowadays are watching other people interact with other people in a way that is so like not fake, because I feel like having interaction with an influencer, like there is a certain level of performativity to it. And I think that kids are watching the performativity rather than like experiencing stuff on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like if you talk to someone, because there's like a special kind of way that people, when they're live streaming, like the way that people talk, like their cadence of their voice, and just like, it's like it's like live stream or like the TikTok accent, you know, but like if that's all you're watching and then you talk to someone in real life like that, it's like, what are you doing?
And then that's why you have interactions though, like especially being back in LA, I'm like, girl, at influencer events when they're just sitting there like, okay, like how are you doing? Da 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 da. Actually, what's your Instagram? And then like they look you up and it's sitting there like, okay, so like are we gonna continue the conversation now? Or are you like gonna vet me first as we're sitting here?
Yeah, they're like, how many followers do you have? Oh, never mind. Like,
yeah, or it's like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, you have 1,000 followers, but then you're a stylist, or like you do makeup. Okay, yeah, wait, that's valid enough for me to follow you.
right.
And I think that also plays into the Twitch streaming and all that, because it's like people that's a human interaction that we're losing, is that now it's becoming so like performative based, which, yeah.
It's so interesting. You want to talk about fashion?
Yeah.
Let's
Wait,
talk
do I
about
get an introduction?
Oh, yeah. Today I am joined by my dear friend, the beautiful, the talented Miss Jacob Nicholas.
Yes. Hi, y'all. Stylist, content creator. I'm very happy to be sitting with Spencer today.
Yeah, no, I just jumped right into it. I was like, we're just recording already.
I know. I'm
I
like,
didn't give
wait.
you proper. You are.
Go an introduction.
You're
Who are we
owed a
sitting
proper
with?
introduction.
Yeah. Like accolades. Like, give me something.
Yeah.
Who have I worked with?
Yeah, go
Anything.
ahead. Wait, flex for a
Oh,
second.
you don't know?
Just flex. Yeah, let me get my. I don't have my notes. I did my research.
I'm a stylist and content creator. I've been working in fashion for about 3 to 4 years now. I've worked with people such as Quinlan Blackwell, Sexy Red, brands like Microsoft, creating content and visual storytelling for them. My main goal is to give marginalized communities, specifically Black, queer, pretty much anybody who's doing like something different in fashion. My goal is always to highlight them in a way that is different, that we haven't seen before. So
That's beautiful.
that's
That's so
a little bit
amazing.
about me.
what got you into fashion? Has it always been something that has been a center point of your life, or because you didn't go to school for fashion, right?
No, so my degree, I went to UCSB and my degree's in Black Studies, power to the people, with a minor, or like my concentration in Black Studies was in how Black queer people create space for themselves, and whether that be like online or in person in spaces like ballroom. And so I fell into fashion because I failed chemistry. I got a D in chemistry, and I was like, I don't know what else I want to do with my life. And my grandma always like loved fashion. My grandma was very much a church girl. She always had the hat, the skirt. We always went to church on Sundays. And so I feel like that was always instilled in me. And then I grew up watching like America's Next Top Model. You have people like Miss J, Audrey Leon Talley, even RuPaul for the RuPaul girls. But like conceptualizations of Black men, born Black men doing things that were different. I feel like that was always innate in me. I just didn't know how I wanted to focus it until I got to school, and I fell in love with fashion in the fashion club. And through that, shout out UCSB Fashion Club, love my girls down. But me and one of my really good friends really cultivated that space and made it into something. And so seeing how I was able to do that, I like wanted to do that with brands but find a way to do it through clothing. I think that was always the biggest thing, was that like I want to tell people's stories, but specifically through clothing. And so yeah, that's how I fell in love with styling.
Yeah, and the UCSB Fashion Club, I got to go to the first ever fashion show.
Yeah,
which was wonderful, and now it's become like quite a large thing. Like I couldn't even get a ticket last year.
Yeah, they're gonna have their third one coming up in actually, is this the third or the fourth? I don't know. We started it, which was really cool. My friend Maxwell honestly pioneered it. Like, give her all the credit. She had all the support of like the team and everything, but she really was the one who really wanted to do it. And we provided the opportunity for like 5 emerging designers to come in, show their designs with student models and everything. And so, as much as it was like something that we wanted to do, it became something that the community was really involved in, because like UCSB didn't have a fashion space or like a creative outlet for some of these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that you focus on, like you mentioned, is creating space for marginalized communities through fashion. Can we talk a little bit about that? Like, what are some brands? I know you feature brands all of the time. What are things that have you excited about right now in that direction?
Yeah, I think also, too, the reason why I do say that I always try to give space for marginalized people through fashion is because I think, like, as a stylist, when we're talking about, like, pulling clothes, reposting stuff, commenting, what designers do artists have access to, I think, like, obviously we want to do big brands, but some of these smaller designers really do have things that are different and things that people want to see. Like, I'm loving Street Grandma right now. They're one of my favorite brands. That they do plus size denim. Honestly, they do all size denim. It's all size denim, and they do a lot of like baby doll shirts, sweatshirts, things like that. I'm loving that. Obviously got my Telfar boots on. I love everything that Telfar does. I think that to see a Black owned brand that is like fully encompassed, like they do all their own marketing, all their own designing, production, like it's very exciting to see a brand like that. Who else am I thinking about? Oh, you know what? House of Alma. I'm working with House of Alma right now for their social media team. They're going to be having a collaboration coming out with Komoko Cotton, which is a Black-owned cotton company, and they work with Black-owned farmers to buy cotton back from some of these farmers at a premium rate. So rather than just buying it at like a normal cost, they're going to pay more for it so that they do get more money, more economic opportunity. And they're going to be releasing a collaboration. It's going to be a cotton shirt. And so I'm very excited about that. That's going to be coming out.
I think things like that are really cool, because it's like we're in a point of capitalism where it's like profit over everything all of the time.
Yeah.
And like you look at these huge like fast fashion, like the Sheins and like all of these different types of companies where it almost seems like it's inescapable at a point. And then you have companies like that coming in where they're like, no, we're going to do this the right way.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think the hard thing though is that it becomes about the dollar and how much you want to spend and how valuable your dollar is, because oftentimes those brands are going to be a little bit more expensive just because by nature of what they're doing. And so like, yes, we do want to support them. And so I think that does have to cause a person to be like, let me just buy less clothes so that I can buy this Black-owned cotton shirt that some of these people are getting like money.
Yeah.
So I think it's about the choice of the dollar, which we're seeing with brands like Target. Love my girls at Target, but obviously it's not helping, like, you know, the boycott that's happening. So I think it's very interesting in the time that we're in, that we're able to have that conversation. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about fast fashion and like choice of the dollar and everything, I think fast fashion is just the option for a lot of people because obviously it's cheap. And I think a lot of people underestimate the size availability on some of these sites. Like, especially as somebody who grew up like high school, a little bit early college before I had conceptualizations of fashion and how I wanted to like present myself. Those were the only stores I shopped at. Like, I'm not ashamed to say that. Like Shein, Amazon, or Forever 21, girl, Forever 21 in high school used to hate to see me come in because it's like they were offering 2X, 3X, 4X in the clothing that was for smaller size people. And so I think a lot of people like miss that, is that like sometimes it is for some of these people, it's about having something that's going to fit you, even if you're going to wear it one time. And that's not me supporting it. Like, I just see both sides to it, where it's like, I think if we want to talk about people buying less fast fashion, some of these brands also need to have a conversation to be like, can we offer a 3X?
Yeah.
And most of the time y'all can. But
yeah, let's talk about that, because that's something that you talk about a lot, is like plus size fashion and brands that are centered around that. I mean, that's a whole conversation in itself, but like, why are brands, like, why do you have brands, I don't want to put any on blast, but where it's like one size fits all, or like, you know, those type of things where it's like they only have one size in the store? Like, what's going on there? Like,
I mean, it's a lot of things, you know, we can get, I feel like there's a lot of reasons. I think the main reason that I've experienced, because I have posted stuff about this, and so I get a lot of marketing people or like business people who work on that end who comment on my page and like explain the idea of buying and like, what is that called? I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the word. Buying power, and then turnover rates and like production value and all that. I understand that on paper, plus sizing and extended sizing doesn't look like it's always going to do well.
Right.
And I think that that's where brands are like scared of, is that like, okay, on paper, these sizes don't necessarily always do well. But I think that we have to think about the marketing aspect of it too. If you're going to offer a plus size, or if you're going to actually make the commitment to do some of these things, these brands need to have the marketing to do it. Because I think some of these brands do it, but then don't market it enough for us to even understand that they are offering extended sizing, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But I think that also comes down to perception too. Like, I think at the end of the day, people don't always love to see plus size people in clothing that is different, or that is going to accentuate parts that we don't necessarily deem as beautiful. And so I think that buying power and some of like the paperwork becomes like cover up for like what is actually happening.
Yeah, it's kind of like they hide it with it's like, oh, just the logistics aren't there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets a little deeper than that. I mean, like we saw that with the Victoria's Secret fashion show this year.
But like, they ate. I'm not gonna lie, Victoria ate.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But then people were like, what the, like, they were just mad about the level of inclusivity.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and that's going to be the voicing power that we're leaning towards right now in society, is that like, I think those comments are going to be more popular, of like people who are leaving negative comments. But I mean, Victoria's Secret really has come back in terms of like inclusivity, to be able to have, I think they had 2 to 3 trans women, which is beautiful. They had like 4 to 5 plus size women, which I always would love to see more, but I think the way that they were able to dress them was very beautiful. Ashley Graham, love my girl down. She looked amazing. Yeah, and so that's also very true too, because Victoria's Secret has always been one of those brands though that has like offered plus sizing and has offered opportunities for women of different body shapes to have certain things. And so as much as like we like to say we don't like the Victoria's Secret fashion show, I think an everyday woman can shop at Victoria's Secret and like loves that.
right. And like there were some people that were trying to be like, oh, this is almost as like it's a luxury or an exclusivity type of thing. I was like, you're talking about Victoria's Secret here. Like, she's in every mall across the world. Like, this is not something that's like an inaccessibility, like super prestige, high fashion thing. And even if it was, making the barrier to entry for something that's high fashion or luxury, someone's body type, like that is a whole conversation in itself.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation, because body type shouldn't be, I think all body types are luxury. But I think when we look at like, even we get into Glenn Martin's H&M collab, I don't believe that brands like Diesel and brands like Y Project and just luxury brands, they will offer a plus size if you go in and ask for a custom, or like I believe there are certain exceptions when it comes to like dresses and stuff. But on like the everyday product, they're obviously not offering a plus size. And so it's very interesting when we have like Y Projects finally saying goodbye to the brand, and Glenn Martens is like, okay, let me collab with H&M. They decided to offer 4X or up to a size 40. And it's like, okay, you could really do this for every product because they sold out.
Right.
I was struggling I got my little dress, but I was struggling to get everything that I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I think because it is a luxury brand, they're obviously like, of course it's going to sell out. But I think that if we apply some of that thinking to some of these other pieces, that we could see a difference.
Yeah, definitely. How do you feel about, because there's stores that are only plus size clothing, but then like the marketing and the branding and the naming, I feel like as someone that doesn't shop there, like I look at these and I'm like, I don't know if that would like feel good.
Yeah.
As if I was like plus size being like marketed to this way, especially with like the brand names and stuff. It's like, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Because some of them are like, you're really going to be called that name, and it's really bad in Asia. Like, have you been to Asia?
Oh, no, I haven't been to
seen those
Asia,
videos?
but in Japan and Asia, the girls get down with the plus size, and they're like, yeah, I've seen the signs.
The signs are crazy, but that's a whole.
But I think, yeah, that's a cultural conversation. I think culturally, in Asia, the plus size body type, obviously there are plus size people everywhere, but the plus size body type is not as a normal occurrence in America, because let's get down to that. In America, majority of people are plus size. The average women's body type, I believe, it's an 8. It might be a 10. It's an 8 or above. It's not a sample size. It's not a 2 or 4. And so I think that is like the cultural conversation about like clothing and how we present ourselves is a really big piece of it. And why we get stores that have like those names, or like why the clothing it's just not flattering. It doesn't fit right, or it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting. I think shopping in person as a plus size person, though, like going to those type of stores, I think it's nice though to be able to go in and have like an everyday option. Like if I need to get a pair of pants or a button up, that's cool, but it's just not different. You know, it's not something that like I can go out in, or like I can go and shop for the night out.
Right.
But yeah, then you have brands. I love a all plus size store though. I think that brands that cater to plus size people, most of the time they offer to everyone, like all sizes. But I think the focus on the plus size is very important. And so we have Thick Thrift, who I love. They are size 1X pretty much and up, and they do like accessories, sweatshirts. It's pretty much just a market, and they have vendors who set up in that as like a specifically plus size space. And I think as much as like we want inclusivity and like the opportunity to shop everywhere, I think spaces like that offer people just like a little bit of normalcy.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get to see that a lot.
Yeah. And you mentioned something interesting about how like the average body type in America is considered plus size because the standard or sample size is like so extremely small. And it's like that creates a whole dynamic in itself where it's like the average woman goes shopping, and then the expectation is for them to fit into like a 2 or a 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, you're going to need whatever. And then it's like, I feel like it just perpetuates even more.
Yeah, it perpetuates the standard, because you go into, biggest example, I don't want to say the name, but love the store in the mall. They are Australian based, love the Australia girls, but they are in every mall in America. And every time I go in there, I'm like, oh, that's a cute pair of shorts. That's a X, Y, and Z. And it's like the biggest size they go up to in the store is a 36. I'm like, for men, I understand that men have small waists, but even a man, y'all don't go to 38 or 40 is crazy. I guess that is like an international body type though, so I understand why they don't offer the plus size. But I get it. It's certain things I feel like I'm able to have like a certain discernment between and like understand how things operate, but also how it should be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm losing track.
Let's pivot a little bit.
Okay, cool.
It's your birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
We had a beautiful little dinner last night.
Yes, big 24.
You're going out tomorrow. Wait, 24?
Yes, I'm going to be 24. I'm a baby.
so much older than you.
Yes. How old are you?
25.
He's grown. I'm still a baby.
I thought you were turning 25.
No,
This is
I'm
crazy.
24. Yeah, Key, I graduated from college 3 years, not 4 years.
Okay.
So I like pretty much skipped a grade. So I was able to graduate with all my friends and everything, which is probably why you think I'm turning 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny because I took a 5th year.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah. So I did 2 years at community college and then 3 at UCSB because I ended up double majoring. So I just tacked on an extra year, which worked out because COVID took a year away anyways. But yeah, so I was supposed to graduate at 22, like you.
Yeah.
But
I was
anyways,
supposed to graduate 24. I was supposed to graduate 24.
oh, no, I was talking about like age, not year.
Oh, age.
Yeah, yeah. At age 22, the year 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that wasn't what I was trying to get at was, it's your birthday, turning the big 24. What is something in the last year, in your 23rd year of life, what's something in your last year that you've learned to love about yourself?
Ooh. 23 was a key. I think I learned to love my personality, my outgoingness. I think I often struggle with even being a person who's a stylist and content creator and like has to be in these spaces where you are putting out a lot of output. I think when I do get in a lot of situations, I love to be introverted and I love to just watch and listen. But I've learned that like to own up to a space and kind of like take my moment in it. So I really learned to love my personality and kind of how I come across to people. But that's hard. I think the way that I present in the world, and how I look, for me, it sometimes feels like that's harder because I'm like, I don't know how someone's gonna react to me or how that conversation's gonna go. So yeah, it's been a really cool journey and like loving that part of myself.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Because it is kind of like when you're in a new situation, you kind of do have to have your guard up a little bit. And that does make it hard to be who you are, like your true authentic self, like outgoing. And I mean, you have a wonderful personality.
Thank you.
But yeah, if you have that guard up and you're kind of like trying to analyze people or the situation, it like kind of prevents, there's a small wall that goes up. What's one thing now for this upcoming year that you're looking forward to, that you have a goal set towards? Like what is 2026 going to look like? What's 24 going to look like for you?
Thank you. I just want to sit in it. I think I move so fast. I'm always doing something. I'm always in the car. I need to learn to
You are
sit.
always in the car.
I'm always in the car. 20% of my life is spent in the car. Y'all get in. I need to spend more time sitting in it and just being like, okay, like I'm in this moment, own up to, and that's what I'm talking about, like own up to the space too. I feel like once you allow yourself to like sit in it and be like, okay, like this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm here, that is when like you're able to tap into that part of yourself. And so I think that's what 24 looks like. It's gonna look like me sitting in it. It's gonna look like me being organized, Lord. I have so much content, and that's another thing I want to look into, taking myself a little bit more seriously. I've been making content for 3 years now, and as much as I like love it as a business and a creative outlet, I think there are ways that I need to take it more seriously to market myself better. And so I would love to sit in that a little bit more and like really ask myself those deep questions of like, what do I want to do with my content in the future? Because I don't think content creation is the goal. I don't know about you, but like I feel like a lot of people like content creation is not the end goal.
It's more like a means to an end.
Yeah, it's a vehicle, not even a means to an end, more so of like a vehicle to express myself or like to pivot myself or show other people what I can do. And so I really want to have my social media express that a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Like that resonates with me because social media, because I've been doing it for a few years as well, and sitting in it and like you said, kind of owning up to the space. I feel like social media and content creation and stuff kind of has this societal perspective where it's like I've found myself in the position many times where I'm like, oh yeah, it's just like a little silly thing I'm doing, like I'm just having fun with it, this isn't that. But like it is our livelihood, it is how we're going to progress our careers, like. And I think owning up to it and being like, yeah, this is what I'm doing and taking it more seriously is a big step.
Yeah. That's why I want to do more of. It's like, I think talking out loud to yourself is so good. I love Tracy Ellis Ross. Just did a beautiful interview. I love her interview with Emma Grade. But in that, she was talking about how powerful it is to talk to yourself like out loud. And I don't do that a lot. I think I'm a huge thinker. I always talk to myself.
Yeah.
But the ability to say it out loud, I think, is where a lot of us trip up at. And so that is something I also want to work on, because like saying it out loud really calls it into the space. It like lets people know, not even saying it to other people, but it lets the space know what you want and how you want to cultivate yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's really interesting, because I'm the same way. Like, I'm so just, my mind's running all the time and I'm always thinking, but I don't speak out loud very often. I feel like that could be a way just to organize thoughts or like articulate your thoughts to yourself even better.
Yeah. And even just like getting up in the morning and being like, oh, like I'm ready for the day.
Yeah.
And like I always think that, but if you say it out loud, like your brain is already gonna be like,
yeah, let's have a good day. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start incorporating that.
I don't know. I think 24 is still so young. Like that's why I still say I'm a baby. Like I put a lot of pressure on myself, seeing a lot of people who are also my age or like similar, even younger. Because the girls, that's the thing with social media, you have the ability to do so much now, as long as you know how to tap in. And so the girls, the younger than you, are doing bigger stuff. And so it's beautiful to see that and like have that, but it's also like a little bit of like a challenge to me and like a constant reminder of like, okay, girl, like everybody's on their own pace.
Yeah.
And so like as much as I like do feel like I should be further, I'm like, no, like this is where I'm at. I've done a lot of beautiful things. There's only like more to come from here.
Yeah, because it is hard, especially in the space, because you're seeing everybody else's content, and someone in my, like I've experienced where, you know, I'm making my content, and then someone comes onto the scene and like within like 2 months, they're just like,
And they make
surpassed me.
And they make the exact same content as you.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I'm like, what is it about them that like I don't have? And you start getting like reflective on yourself and putting yourself down. But like you just like have to stay doing your thing and like give yourself credit for what you have done. And I heard this story, and it's like this man, it's a metaphor, but it's like a man and his boy, they're like, oh, we're gonna go get a rabbit for dinner, like to hunt the rabbit. And the mom's like, okay, like have fun or whatever. So they go out to shoot this rabbit, and they're out in the woods and they see a deer, and the boy is like, oh my God, Dad, like that's a deer. Like the rabbit's going to feed us for a day, but the deer's going to feed us for like a month. Right.
Yeah.
And the dad's like, no, we came to shoot the rabbit. And the boy is like, no, we got to shoot the deer. And then a rabbit runs into the meadow, and the dad's like, look, there's the rabbit. Like, are you going to shoot it? And the kid's like, no, we should shoot the deer. And he's like, no, shoot the rabbit. And then so the kid shoots the rabbit, and like the bullet goes through the rabbit and like bounces off a rock and then hits the deer and hits a bird, like hits all these other things.
and then hits the, yeah.
And then so they get to get everything. And like the whole metaphor, of course, is to like keep the main thing and like push
Pacing
all,
yourself.
Yeah.
Pacing yourself is very important.
So I always like, when I get too heady about things or start comparing myself to others, or like I should be doing this, like this person's doing that, I'm like, shoot the rabbit. Like you gotta shoot the rabbit.
Yeah.
Like keep focusing on what you're doing, you know? But it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, especially it's the name of the game to be quicker and faster than everybody else, I think, because like especially people who make content that are like current event based or like certain things that are happening in real time, it's kind of like if you don't make the content, someone else is going to make the content. Because that I love that saying that ideas aren't yours. Ideas are just placed in your mind by the universe or whatever's going on.
Right.
And if it's not going to come out to you when you think about it, it's going to somebody else for sure.
Yeah.
And so I think that is always something that sits in my mind, because I'm like, gotta be quicker, gotta
jump
quicker.
on it.
But I think that you do really have to sit down and have some of those real conversations. And that's what I'm excited about for 24. And it's to sit down and have some of those real conversations with myself about like what I want and how I want my content to be created and how I want it to be shared. Because I think right now it is very much like, okay, I think about something, let me just post that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that idea of like, ideas aren't yours. Like there's been so many times that I've been thinking about something for like a month and I just haven't gotten to it. And then I see someone else do it. I'm like, yeah, fuck, like I was going to do that. Or I'll post a video thinking it's like an original thought. And then someone will be like, I saw this video 2 days ago. And I'm like, what the hell? Like I thought I was, you know.
But that's the thing in content creation nowadays. Someone's already doing it. There's 1,000 other people doing the same exact thing as you, which is beautiful and scary at the same time. But you just have to have your niche. You have to have your brand, how unique you are, and how I think about how I come across to a person and who's watching.
Yeah.
You know, like I would rather have like 10 people see my video and have 5 of them love it and like actually take something away from it than have like 1,000 people see my video and have only like 1 person take something away from it. Like, I don't know, like certain conceptions like that, I would just want to make an impact on people rather than like getting that like hit of like a following count or something like that.
But with the idea of like ideas aren't ours and we're just channeling them from whatever source may be, you know, I feel like it helps me kind of detach from ideas as well as like, I'm getting this idea, like I have to make it now, but also like I'm not so tied to it because I always feel like the content that I'm like, this has to do well, or like I'm really excited about this idea, they always flop.
It's never doing well. It's please like your friends, repost, comment on anything your friends post. If you a real friend and you know that your friend's doing content creation, get up there and like their stuff and repost it because you actually put some work into a sponsored post that someone sends you something and it's sitting there at 100 likes, 100 views.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, we know you're watching.
I know y'all watching because now they have the analytics. I see how many thousands of y'all watching it but not liking it. So, but no, that's like a real thing that it's like you really put in a lot of work into something and it really is gonna flop. And I think that's the name of the game and part of the process. And when I think about consistency, I like go to start a series or I go to start something like that and I do put effort into it and I think about it and it does flop and then I post a second one and like does kind of well but not really and then I'm just like, okay, let me let it fall off.
Yeah.
But I think I'm do better at that in moments like that. If I like really write a series that I'm tied down to, I think you need to commit to it because it could turn into something.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like if you really believe in something and like are putting effort into it, it's like a build it and they will come type of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel that like it's so frustrating. Like whenever I'm always like, oh, I'm in my flop era, it'll be like a week where I'm just like posting videos where I'm like, oh, this is gonna hit, it's gonna hit, it's gonna hit, and all of them flop. And then
It never does.
as soon as I'm like, all right, let's have fun. Let's be silly with it again. That's when it's like, woo, and I'm like, cool.
Like real, I get it. I'm funny.
Yeah.
Like y'all like it. I know y'all do. Moving on. Like,
I took myself too seriously for a week.
Right, like actually, but it's weird too when you actually try to lock in. Sometimes it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Like I'm such a delusional girl that like sometimes I'm just too delusional about it and like anything if it's random it's gonna hit and I'm like, oh wait, okay, that's bad, but I don't end up doing it consistently. And so I do think sometimes when you do try it, like I don't know if it comes across differently.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes people can tell that you're trying a little too hard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think so too. Like there's like an energy, whether it's like in you or I don't know. I tend to get like woo-woo with shit, but I'm like, as soon as I start trying too hard or I'm too attached to something, like it's going to fail. So I'm like, it's just like, I have to detach from everything.
Yeah.
But it truly is that, like, as soon as you get silly and like post with a little whimsy and you're just like, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to post. And then you post and just forget about it and keep going. And then you come back and you're like, oh shit. Like
it did well.
It did something. Yeah. I don't know. So it is a balance of taking yourself and the space seriously, but also not too serious to where like you're having fun. It's like a balance, I think, a balancing act. Yeah. I don't know. It's something I'm trying to work on all the time.
I feel that.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something? Sorry. I feel like I cut you off.
Was thinking.
What were you thinking about?
I was like, can we talk about ballroom?
Let's talk about ballroom.
I'm such a gay person.
Let's talk about ballroom.
Yes. Love ballroom.
I love ballroom.
Yeah.
And I don't
Tell
know.
me about that. I'm like interviewing.
Yeah. You're interviewing me now. Wait, hold on. Okay. I feel like this ties into a question that I was going to ask.
Okay, what were you going to ask?
And maybe it won't tie in, but so we're like relatively new friends.
Real.
And we knew each other throughout college and whatnot. And I stayed with you in Vegas.
He invaded my space.
I invaded their space.
A colonizer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was beautiful.
And yeah, you let me stay with you in Vegas for Beyonce, for Cowboy Carter.
Well, yeah.
And that was like the first time that we had actually spent real time together. What was, if there was a moment, and what was the moment that you were like, he's okay?
Okay.
And okay, wait, hold on.
No, I'm thinking. No. I'm thinking. It's a good answer.
Okay, there's another layer. Why were you hesitant? Like, I know the answer, but like, why were you hesitant? But then why did you let me in the space? And then what was the moment where you were like, okay, he's cool?
Okay. I have a history. I'm just kidding. No, I just happen to, my really good friend Nick is like best friends with Spencer. And so we were all going to Cowboy Carter and Nick was like, oh, like, can Spencer stay with you? And Nick is one of my best friends. So I was like, of course Spencer can stay with me. Literally no issue. And we had like met a few times and everything. So I was like, okay, like I know he's chill. But I think when it comes to having someone who's white and straight in my space, I'm always just like nervous of how that is going to play out. Just because I'm worried about making other people uncomfortable about, I really shouldn't be about it, just about how I present. But like, it is a constant thought in my mind of how I'm going to come across to somebody. And so I always want to make someone feel comfortable. And so I was just a little worried about that. That was, in the back of my mind. But it ended up going really well. The moment that like, I kind of was like, okay, he's all right, is because I'm sitting in the room and Hurricane Katrina comes on by Kevin J.Z. Prodigy. And I'm sitting there like, why is my phone going off? I look at my phone, it's not my phone playing and it's his phone. And I'm like, here comes the hurricane, okay. So I feel like that was kind of like the moment I was like, he's all right. Like, he's kind of cultured in like what I know and like how we get down. So yeah, it was beautiful having that moment and breaking down some of those conceptualizations, because I feel like as queer people, we really don't come in contact with a lot of straight men who are like okay with being comfortable with us and how we act. So it really was cool to like have a moment like that. Yeah.
It was so funny because up until then, like, I hadn't played any of like that playlist or anything like that.
Well, yeah.
Because there was potential that we were going to drive together. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, let me put like this little car playlist together. Like, I was like, I'm going to play this for Jacob and like, it's going to ease into it. And then all of a sudden they're going to be like, wait a second. And like, I had this whole idea in my head. And then we were getting ready maybe the first night or second night or something.
Because you eased into it. It was not the first song. It was like the third or fourth song.
Right. Because I also felt like, because when I got there, we like went to dinner. We got like the Asian food or whatever. It was so good. But I was like, if we get into my car and like immediately I'm like,
yeah, I was
playing
a little bit. I mean, wait, hold on. Not too much now. You making fun of me? But
yeah.
I appreciate that care. I think a lot of people don't have that type of like care when it comes to other people. And how like respecting spaces and things like that. So yeah, even just the thought of like, oh, let me just add that to a playlist. I love that.
Yeah. And I truly do love the music. So wait, let's talk about Ballroom.
Wait, what do you love about the music then, since you love it so much?
I love everything about it. Like, I love the music. I love the commentating. I love the dancing. Like, because there's all separate elements, but then they like blend together so beautifully. And I think it's so cool. Like, oh, this is going to sound so like, I like love jazz.
Okay.
I love jazz.
I love jazz
for like that reason, because everything is so like, everyone's kind of doing their own thing, but then it comes together so beautifully.
Yeah.
And like, you hear a ballroom beat and you're like, this is crazy. This is insane. Like,
it's chaos.
How could anyone, one, dance to it, or two, like commentate over this? And then someone comes in with the most ridiculous flow you've ever heard. And then someone's walking and you're just like
they know what's happening. Like, it's something that clicks. It's it's an essence, it's a feeling, it's an aura that I think ballroom gives a lot of people, not just queer people. It gives everyone, like, when you watch it, you can see the connection and the flow that's happening.
Yeah.
You talk about that. I'm Muffin. That's my ballroom name. And then I'm also like a commentator. And so I feel like when you commentate, like, there's moments where you're just commentating over the beat and someone's voguing, but then there's moments where like, oh no, you're commentating and that person's catching you. Mm-hmm. That person's on the flow with you and that person's eating with you, the music and the commentator. which is it's very rare, and you can just like feel the essence, and you can see it when the person's eating it like that.
Yeah.
And I think that is like part of what's so infectious about ballroom is some of those like community aspects that like we miss in our daily lives.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. Like the first time I was ever introduced to it was my first girlfriend, like first long-term serious girlfriend, was a professional dancer. And so like I was introduced into like voguing and whacking and like all of these different things. And I was like,
Love whacking.
I had never seen any of this before. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is amazing. And then just like through the years from a distance, I would see stuff. But yeah, like it's so amazing. Like, and I have
such like a deconstruction. I think that is what's really, sorry not to cut you off.
No.
But that's what's really beautiful about ballroom is that there is such like a deconstruction of like the culture, our space, our environment, the music that's happening at the times. Like the ballroom beats, what I love about a ballroom beat is that literally any song that you can think of, there's probably a ballroom beat to it. Like Tyler Chanel, they already have a ballroom beat to that.
Mm-hmm.
Wicked, they have a ballroom beat.
Yeah.
Girl, Lion King, Godzilla theme song. Like there is a ballroom beat to every essence that you want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Jazz, country, horror beat. I love a good spooky beat. Like, you know, it's cool how you're able to like take a lot of moments that mean a lot to people and turn it into something that is beautiful like ballroom.
Yeah.
And I wish we got to see more of that in like an authentic way. I think the mainstreamization of ballroom is like a problem, but I think it's really cool that people are able to like partake in the space.
Yeah. Like how is there a desire to grow it? And if so, like what's an appropriate way to grow it? Because I feel like kind of what you're getting at a little bit is as soon as it like breaks the sphere and then you start getting a ton of people that don't know the history and the culture and everything, it kind of loses its essence.
Yeah.
So like what's a way to grow it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take on a life of its own. I think we see that with all subcultures, punk, ballroom, just basically any subculture. The minute it gets conceptualized within the popular media, it is going to be changed, and that's just by nature of how it's done. But I think like we have spaces like, oh, well, we don't have it anymore, but Legendary, that was on HBO Max, that was a ballroom show. I think like that was a really cool opportunity to like give ballroom people a highlight in an authentic way, because they have ballroom producers, the judges, everything like that. And so I think that doing shows like that is a really good way to grow the community. I think that when we have like artists who are utilizing ballroom beats and ballroom dancers, I think it's always very important to give honor to like the commentators. Like a lot of people utilize Kevin Jay-Z's voice, which I'm very happy about because that means he's getting paid. Like Doechii used it, Beyonce used it. Certain elements like that I feel like is very important into giving credit. But I think that it also comes down to the consumer. Sorry, not to make my answer long-winded, but the consumer, I think, also has to be like attentive to the space and how they're operating within it, and that just comes down to the person, though.
Yeah. Ballroom is so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you want to talk about when it comes to ballroom? Like what's
No, I wanted to talk about what we've just been talking about, but what else about ballroom? I think
Can we talk about, I had a question about commentating.
Okay, yeah.
So when you're commentating, what's I'm sure everybody's method is different, but like, what's your thought process? Are you hearing the beat and watching
the person
voguing, and then you're trying to like see what they're on and trying to like guide them a little bit? Because like you were saying, sometimes the commentator and the dancer are like in one and they're kind of like hitting moves to certain words and stuff. Like,
yeah.
What's your thought process when you are commentating, and like, how does that go? Because I'm like, if I heard this beat and I'm watching this person dance, like there's no way something's coming out of my mouth.
The consistent beat in ballroom is a crash. That da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that is a crash. And so what I love, little history lesson about that, if we get into Marlon Wayans and don't know who the Wayans brothers, and is it in Living Color? I believe in Living Color. I don't know what episode it was, but they dress up as drag queens, and there's a scene where they're like booyaka 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 ha, and it's low-key just like making fun of queer people. But that alone turned into the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that became the ballroom essence, which I love that history. I think that that's such a cool fact. But that like has now become the conceptualization of ballroom music. And so that is what you always want to hit when you're commentating or even when you're voguing. So when you hear that crash, a dip is when you want to crash. And so typically it's just on that 4 count. And so I think when it comes to when you're commentating, I'm always thinking about how do I want to commentate? Like I have a list of chants that I can pull out, but then you also like, if the beat is a little bit slower, how can I do my chant slower? How can I do that? It's a lot of things because then you also look at the person. So like if you have someone who's like a twister, so like straight presenting gay man and he's about a Vogue, your chant is going to be different than if it's a femme queen voguing, because like those are different elements, different essences. And so you also look at the person voguing and how you want them to feel.
In what way would it be different? Like, do you have an example of that?
Yeah, so like a very popular commentation with like realness boys is like realness with a twist. So realness with a twist. These are the boys that break their wrist. Like that is not something that you would necessarily apply to a femme queen, because that is not someone who's like realness in the sense of like butch queen, Vogue femme, like that type of real. And so yeah, that is like one thing. And then for a femme queen, I think you always want them to feel like a woman. And so the commentating is always going to be a little bit drawn out, or it's going to be like super fast in a different essence in a way. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah. Is you always just want to bring out the essence of the person. And I think that is what it's about, is just like, so I was trying to think of a chance that I didn't have to cuss in, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was like, cuss. I cuss a little.
Probably fuck. No, but yeah, I think like even that chant we were listening to in the car, like feels like a femme queen touching on my femme queen. Like even that chant alone is a little bit more like higher pitched, and so that is like what you would want to bring out of a woman, is something more of that essence rather than like a mask man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love commentating. I started commentating, like, I've always wanted to do it, but I seriously started walking like a year ago now. And so I've only walked like a couple times, and I have like a couple trophies. Thank you.
Come on.
So it's cool to like have that type of experience and like be able to contribute to the space in a new way, because I was voguing and then I had to stop. So yeah, to be able to commentate brings a lot more to the space that I'm excited about.
Yeah. Are you looking to Vogue again? Can you Vogue again?
I can Vogue
with the injury.
No, I just don't want to hurt myself again. I think I love to Vogue. I love to feel it, but I think dipping, I would love to get back in the field one last time, like do one category where I come out in Vogue against everybody and really do a good job, and then just call it a night on voguing ever again.
Final run.
Yeah, I think that would be fab for me. But I love it. I think it's so beautiful. I don't know, I just get like a visceral feeling. I think it's something that like I don't always get to express, and it's beautiful that I have like people like you and like my friend group who like allow me to express that. But when you're at a ball, regardless of how late it is or whenever it's happening, and you see the girls going down, it's just like, it's something that I can't really fathom any other way. It's like watching football, I think.
Yeah.
I love, because even at home, I put on Ballroom, and for my parents be sitting there watching it, and my parents trying to figure out what's going on and everything. And then I'm yelling at the TV, like I'm watching football. And it's like, okay, it's like, okay, girl, calm down. I'm like, calm down. You sound like a man. And I'm like, but it's something about that. I think that is also so beautiful. I think a lot of people don't realize it's a sport. Ballroom is a sport. You have to stretch. You have to do the stuff. Like,
yeah,
these people are doing flips in a 9-inch heel.
It's insane. I look at what they do, and I'm like, I would actually die.
Yeah.
Like even just something like a basic move, like a duck walk.
It's a sport. Like,
my knees, like I don't have the mobility to do so. Like,
yeah,
I could never. Which is a whole thing that we got to do eventually.
Yes, Vogue video coming.
Vogue video coming.
Spencer.
Eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've seen you, I don't know if it's considered walking, or because I've seen you recently, like you'll do hand movements, but you're not dipping. So does that?
Yeah, so what I love about Ballroom is basically a pageant. So you have different categories. There's Vogue is obviously the big one, and then they have like runway, face, hands performance is one, best dress, like literally pageant categories. There's like 60, however many categories. And so yeah, like different elements of Vogue are like hand performance, duck walk, spins, dips, and floor performance, and catwalk. I don't know if I said all of them, and catwalk, but yeah, those are all different things that you can take part in. Vogue itself is like all 5 of those put together. But if I wanted to, I could walk a hand performance category, and I would actually have to practice and like, give it a little bit more. But yeah. I think that answers. Does that answer?
Yeah. And I know that hands, so there's like a lot of technicality, but then there's also a lot of storytelling and flow to it as well. Can you teach me a little bit about the
Yeah.
storytelling behind hands and arm movements and everything?
Yeah, so like Vogue itself, you always want to end on a dip. Like the dip, you want to create a story in the terms of like writing a sentence that a lot of people compare it to. And so the dip, when you fall in that crash, that's kind of like your period, like you're ending it. And so
Is that where the saying comes from?
like period?
Yeah.
I guess, no shade, it might. I don't know. But it could. But you always want to end your sentence with a period, so you end it with a dip. And
I've
so,
always said that.
you ate that, honestly. And so the hands, the catwalk, the floor performance, the spins, those are all elements to help you get to that period and tell the story and tell that sentence. Hands isn't the easiest, it's one of the hardest, but it's one of the easiest to do because you're able just to stand up and give a little hand performance. And so that is kind of like your movement through the story and setting it up. And a lot of people start with hands when they're voguing because it's a lot more comfortable just to build up in your vogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the catwalk carrying you through the sentence. Floor performance allows you to tell a little bit more body, a little bit more story. Duck walk is like taking you finally there, and then you spin in a dip, and it's like that's like the perfect tens. If you can get your tens, all 5 elements, no tricks, no nothing, just all 5 elements. That's the ideal in ballroom. That's like what you should want to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What qualifies? Is it just based purely off technicality, or like if you're hitting all your elements?
Like getting your tens.
Yeah.
That's when you get into the panel. The panel, it depends. So the judges, you always want to try to hit all 5, and then that is how you get your 10s. Certain people like me, if I were to walk performance right now, because people know my situation and because I'm a big girl, I wouldn't necessarily have to duck walk. I would just have to give a really strong catwalk, spin, dip, hands, and then I could get my 10s that way. But like, yeah, it depends on the panel and how they're feeling on the night. Also depends on your outfit. If it's calling for all black and you got some white on your shoe, it'd be even, you got one strip of white right there, it's a chop. And they'll chop you depending on how the person's feeling. So yeah, because it depends if it's a category or not. And so there's a lot of different things that kind of plays into it. But at the base level, you want to try to hit all 5 elements.
Yeah, that makes sense. And are each element scored 1 through 10?
Yeah.
Or is it all together, performance gets 10?
The element is like all together. Like Vogue is all 5 elements put together.
Okay.
And so in the past, they have obviously done like the numbers. Like if you've seen Pose, it's like they put up the numbers 8, 9, 10. They used to do like a whole ad and everything. But now it's easier when you're getting your 10s, it's easier just for everybody to be like, okay, 10s across the board. And then they break it down like, okay, battle this person.
Yeah.
That person wins. Provided, I think it's a little bit more competition. You get a little bit more fun out of it. It's a little more battles.
Yeah. That's so fun.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's something that everybody should experience in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if everybody should necessarily, not to say not everybody should partake in the space, but I think if you enter into a ballroom space, you need to be respectful on how you look and how you act in the space. But I think it's something beautiful everybody should like either watch or like, visually see.
What's something about your hometown that you've learned to love since coming back?
Yeah, I feel like my Saturn has returned early. I know your Saturn doesn't return until 29, but Lord, I feel like 23 was the Saturn halfway there. After tearing my meniscus, I did have to move home. And after living in New York for 2 years, I feel like it just was like freedom stripped from me. Like so much removed that I then had to like sit in it kind of and be like, what do I want? How do I love this space? And honestly, like Oceanside is just not for me in terms of how I work and like my terms of fashion, but I really have fallen in love with the beach. I don't go to the beach often and I live 10 minutes from the beach. And so I think I love the sea and the water and everything, but the physical act of going to the beach has always been hard for me. And so I've learned to take up space in that way, and going back to the beach and like wearing a swimsuit and going in the water and everything. I've really learned to enjoy that. I think Oceanside as a culture is a lot slower, and I don't take time off, but basically I don't take time off. And so I think I've also learned to be a lot slower. And I think thinking about like my halfway Saturn return or whatever I'm going to call it, sitting in the moment and taking more time is something I do want to focus on.
Yeah.
And I think home allows you to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. It's like I've experienced that as well as like a feeling of almost like isolation. Mm-hmm. And then, but you kind of do have to sit in it. And I've found gratitude of like, oh yeah, there are beautiful things about this, whether it's like family or just where you're from.
I don't know if you've seen him, but I feel like in the aspect of him on how you have to kill your past self in order to become your new self. Like, do you see the movie?
No.
I didn't see the movie either, but I know the plot. But in the movie, you have to kill your past self in order to gain your new self.
Interesting.
And I think that is something that I sit with a lot because, like, you know, you really do have to be there and be like, okay, what is wrong with me? What don't I like? How do I operate in this action? And how do I be better moving forward? And I think that in that aspect of killing your past self, a lot of people don't do enough. And so I do want to work on that because I feel like that would be very beneficial to me.
Yeah. I think it's always an interesting, because some people are like very hardcore with it. Like, you have to kill that version. And it's like, and I try to like give different versions of myself grace.
Always.
Because it's like, I think you can kill past versions of yourself with grace, kill them with kindness type of thing. Because some people see it as like, no, like that version of me was a fucking loser or whatever. But it's like, no. But like,
kill it in a way that is respect to you, because at all points in time, you're very valid in your emotions unless you're absolutely crazy. But like, you're very valid in your emotions and what you're experiencing. And so I think that,
unless you're absolutely
but I think you need to look at yourself and be like, no, girl, like, this is what was happening. This is how I was feeling. Like, and I don't think that's a negative. So that's what I mean by killing yourself, not in that hardcore way, but in the sense of like looking at yourself like, how do I move forward? I want to be happier. Like, what does that look like for me? I think that's very important to me too. What does happiness look like, and what does success look like? And my conceptualizations around that is very, very strong. So
yeah, because I think that it is a distinction to be made, because people hear like kill your past self and they just come like from a place of shame by default, I think sometimes. But it's like, I think having grace, I think grace is like such a beautiful thing, like grace for yourself, grace for others. And I don't know if I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, I don't know if it's a lost art, but like, I feel like people are so hard on themselves and so hard on other people, like so quick to cut people off. And like, I don't know.
Friendships are hard.
Yeah.
You have to put in a lot of work. You have to, again, when we were talking about self-work, like, you have to put in a lot of work to have people do that. And grace is one of those things that is harder because we don't know how to interact with each other. Like we were talking about at the beginning, don't know how to interact with each other, are losing some of those core moments. And I think grace is one of those things that is lost first, because why would I go out of my way to help somebody, or why would I go out of my way to do this when I could just have my peace at home?
Yeah. I like the idea of like, when you kill your past self, it's not like a fire, like a cremation. It's not like that. It's like we're just gonna like a beautiful little burial, like
She's just splitting from me. It's giving substance.
Like, we're putting her in the ocean.
So sending her out to sea.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be some sort of destructive process.
Yeah.
But I love that.
Yeah.
It's the evolution. I think,
baby, that's growth. And on that note,
thank you so much for joining me, Jacob.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. You're always welcome. Like I said, wherever I am, we're in a fun location today.
I know. Very excited. The setup's beautiful, isn't it? Pretty funny.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the conversation.
Of course.
I love you very much, and happy birthday.
Thank you. I love you. Bye, guys.
Yay.